Hello everyone, Power here. Welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to be taking a look at some new reveals from Paradigm Trigger, which will feature Lugia Vstar, Regidrago Vstar, Regieleki VMAX, and then of course this will join with our other set, Incandescent Arcana, to form our November set, Silver Tempest. So that's two smaller sets from Japan will form the bigger set, Silver Tempest, come November time. So when this set is fully revealed, it's not been fully revealed today, just have some reveals to go over. When it's fully revealed, we will sort of be able to deduce what will be in our next main Sword and Shield set after Lost Origin, which is super cool. So just going over some information, obviously this will feature Lugia Unknown Vstar, which we can go over today, Regidrago Vstar, and Regieleki VMAX. Regidrago and Regieleki have yet to be revealed, so we'll probably see them when all of this set gets fully revealed later on. So Pokemon Japan also released a piece of artwork to celebrate the set. It reveals the set will also include the Omnastar line, Armadillo line, Claydol line, Stunfisk, and Stonejourner. This set seems to be ancient themed almost like Fossil or Neo Discovery, as we can see in this artwork over here. So hopefully, and this is just a small hope, but hopefully we actually see more fossil support in this set in the form of like items or supporter cards, even stadiums potentially. I would love it if, Pokemon actually gave more love to fossils. I watched a really cool video the other day that I do recommend people watch it talking about fossils from Glazomon. So, it's just like Pokemon, you have such a cool idea with fossils, such a cool concept, and I just feel it's underutilized in this card game, and could do with some more support really. So just moving on a wee bit, there's some promos that we'll probably see later on down the line, and then this is the official booster pack artwork for Silver Tempest. So going over the translations, have some lovely alternate art for Lugia V. Oh wait, that's just the regular art, never mind, that's the full art, sorry. So yeah, very, very nice Lugia art. 220 HP off the bat is pretty high for an evolving V. It's kind of like what we want to see. Weakness to lightning is a bit of a problem because Flying Pikachu is not going anywhere probably. Resistance to fighting is always nice to have if Urshifu ever does anything ever other than, pop up at seniors at Worlds, but could still be a powerhouse yet, so we do have to bear that in mind. But just looking at the attacks here, Wind Reading says discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 3. Not the worst on Evolving V, just if you have to go second and you can't really attack with anything else, or you're unable to switch into Diancie, just using Wind Reading seems fine. Air Dive doing 130 for 4 is obviously less than ideal. We're not really bothered about that. Looking at Lugia Vstar, has 280 HP, so up there with the tanky boys like Palkia. Weakness to Lightning again is just an absolute pain because obviously Flying Pikachu is just going to destroy you. But again, the resistance to fighting is nice. Storm Dive for 4 colors does 220 damage, which is a very important damage modifier that we're going to have to talk about a bit. And then you may discard the stadium in play. So kind of like any stadium in play, it just doesn't specify like your stadium or your opponent's, just means any stadium in play, you can discard it, which is really nice because it means that if your opponent's playing a Path to the Peak and you don't have your own stadium, you can like use Assemble Star that turn, well the following turn I should say. And it also means that you're able to, win the Stadium War a lot easier as well if you have a built-in attack that can discard a stadium. So Lugia Vstar's Vstar Power Assemble Star says, it's a lot of stars, you may use this during your turn, choose up to 2 colors Pokemon from your discard pile, except for Pokemon with Roblox, so this can be basic Stage 1s or Stage 2s, and put them onto your bench. So we can find Bibarel or Cincino, but of course I will scroll down a wee bit here to look at Archeops, which was revealed as well. This dude evolves from Archen and would be a very awkward fossil Pokemon to get out into play, but of course with Lugia's V-Star power we can just essentially move it from the discard pile to the bench, which is really handy. Has the ability Primal Turbo, which is really cool. So once during your turn you may search your deck for up to 2 special energy cards and attachment on your Pokemon. Then we shuffle our deck. So why this is important to note is that Lugia only needs 4 energy that are raw colors. So we can use Primal Turbo to find 4 of any energy, such as Powerful Colorless Energy, Double Turbo Energy, or the new Gift Energy, Capture Energy, for example. Super cool kind of like combo. My only problem with this combo is that if you use Double Turbo Energy and you use 2 Powerful Colors, right, you will be theoretically doing 260. and then 290 with a choice belt. That sounds great. But because you have a double turbo attached to it, you're actually doing 270. So Storm Dive is a bit iffy if you're using double turbo. The way I could see this being built, however, is with the Archeops and the powerful colors. But then you don't actually play double turbo. You just play like Capture Energy or Gift Energy, or maybe even a couple of basic energy like Water Energy. So you can make use of cards like Melanie, for example. So you can just Melanie to your Lugias turn after turn, and then just sort of use Storm Dive after that. So it's kind of what I think about Lugia. Is it very good? Debatable. I think it's kind of like it's got some good merits, but yeah, you will need a lot of modifiers to actually want to kill other V stars. Looking at Unknown V on the low end, unfortunately, with 180 HP, which is a wee bit sad. Confuse Seal for 1 second energy does 30 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Pretty bland attack. Victory Symbol for 3 colors, however, says if you only have 1 prize card left, use this attack, you win the game. So pretty good, yeah. It's a pretty good attack. One thing I will say is that the Unknown Vstar needs sort of like this flip effect with Glimwood Tangle. So like what I would say with like this attack, Victory Symbol, is that if you're playing this in a Glimwood Tangle deck, you might as well play the Radiant Jirachi from Incandescent Arcana. So for example, you use Jirachi's Stellar Doom attack to, flip 2 coins at both of my heads, they're knocked out, which obviously conjoins with Tri-Power in the Glimwood's Tangle synergy. And then, of course, Radiant Jirachi says when it's knocked out, you can search your deck for any 3 cards. So theoretically, if, your opponent's knocked out to Unknown Vstars and a Jirachi, you can then use Jirachi's ability to search your deck for like a Raihan and like a double turbo energy or something. This is like all very theory based and it's kind of convoluted maybe, but I just thought it'd be a cool, interesting combo that was worth mentioning. But either way, Tri-Power, flip 3 coins, attack to 70 damage for each head, so it's just a bit underwhelming to be honest. It's like it's nothing crazy. The 250 HP is obviously very low as well, so it's a wee bit of a shame. But I think Unknown fans are a bit disappointed by this card. It's very cool that the Unknown spell out V-Star, but yeah, very underwhelming card. Star Cipher for 3 colors says until this Pokemon leaves play, gains an ability that has the effect. All of your opponent's Pokemon weakness is now Psychic. Pretty bad ability. Pretty bad ability. Uses attack, you gain the ability, you have 250 HP, your opponent will have at least 1 turn to hit you. So even if you retreat after that, then you're still putting yourself in a position where you have a damaged V-Star on the bench. That is giving all your Pokemon effectively ×2 damage, but the problem is opponent can just gust up Unknown Vstar. Obviously, this will require some testing. Maybe it's a lot better than I'm giving it credit for, but ultimately, I don't think the Unknowns are doing a whole lot, sadly. But it's a unique card, I will say that much. There's also like a couple of tool cards that we have to take a look at that actually give Pokemon V an alternate V-Star power. So if you really are only playing this for like the Glimwood Tangle combos and the Tri-Power, you don't actually have to care about Star Cipher. You can play, these or one of these 2 V-Star power tablets effectively to gain a new V-Star power. So that's something worth bearing in mind. So we have Archen over here that identifies, not identifies, but evolves from unidentified fossil. So this is pretty interesting because it actually makes me wonder if we're going to see a reprint of Research Lab. It allows you to search your deck for 2 unidentified fossils and put them onto your bench, but then it ends your turn. It'd be super interesting if we actually saw a reprint of that, but other than that, Archer not really doing anything. Archeops with Primal Turbo obviously is a very strong effect. I don't see this outclassing Porygon and Expanded, the one with the crazy turbo ability, but yeah, it's a good effect and good and standard when we have stuff like Lugia and even Blissey potentially, so yeah, worth bearing in mind. So then we have a couple of joke Pokemon, and they are jokes, sadly. They're really not that good. But essentially, they all kind of work in synergy with each other, but you have to use the Togedemaru first before any of the others do anything, so it's very gimmicky. So Togedemaru has Dash, that is 10 damage, and I will mention this, because you're a metal type, you hit Karn for weakness, and you can do a whopping 20 damage. Yep, very powerful. Flip a coin if heads. If this Pokemon is knocked out during your opponent's next turn, your opponent can't take a prize card for it. Cool, I guess. Maybe there's some like weird stall deck with this Togedemaru because you can use Rescue Carrier, because Honestly, a Totodile Miltank stall deck is probably better than whatever the heck they're trying to sell us here. But yeah, so Totodile has a Toja Dash, which is going to be like your charge up move, I guess. And then Didene, which is who you'll power up with Totodile. It's so cute that they put in the artwork, by the way. And then Didene has the attack Dede Short, which does 60 damage, and you can only use this attack if your Totodile used Toga Dash during your last turn. The defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. So we can kind of see where we're going with this. We have to use the previous one before we can use it. And Pikachu and Morpeko are sort of like our finishers. It's worth noting Dedenne is just, yeah, I suppose they all do have flying energy in their attack cost, which is nice. Doesn't mean you're playing any awkward energy counts, but yeah, Paralysis and 60 damage is not great. Like, you're probably going to just switch out of it. But either way, Morpeko has the attack Paco Bomber. You can only use this attack if your Dedenne uses Dedenne Short during your last turn. So it's going to be turn 3 by the time you can even use this. It says this attack does 60 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon, so there's literally no point to this guy being a darkness type, so you can't even hit, Dragapult or Mew for weakness. So 60 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Yeah, it's cool and everything, but there's that Codcore Manaphy that exists, and that's going to just destroy this deck, because you're attacking by turn 3. Your opponent has 3 turns effectively to find their Manaphy, so yeah, not so great. There is a Pikachu that has Pika Strike that does 20 damage, and if you're Dedenne, use Dedenne Short. Surprise! And then, of course, it does 180 more for 200, which, okay, 200 is probably the most damage we've ever seen for a single energy, and it's on a Pikachu at that, which is really cool. But to be honest, I don't see this being more than a meme deck. The Totodile, funny enough, I think is unironically the better card. That's just because it has, like, maybe some kind of stall deck synergy, perhaps. The Pikachu doing 200, theoretically, if you wanted to get really funky, you can just start attacking Ludicolo, because why not? This deck is already clunky as. So you just take a Ludicolo, you can smack for 300 for a single energy. That could be quite funny. But either way, I don't see this being very good. There is an Lihim with some amazing artwork, not really doing much though. Bayheem, again, love the artwork. Psyhour's attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Apply weakness and resistance, even for bench Pokemon. So this is obviously kind of supposed to be a partner for the Uknown Vstar, with its Vstar power giving all your opponent's Pokemon weakness. So this can effectively do 120 after you use that move. It's meh. It's meh at best, because you can improve that damage. We might see a tool card in the set that actually improves damage done to bench Pokemon potentially, or triples weakness, because actually we do have super effective glasses, but I'm pretty sure they only affect, the opponent's active as opposed to anything else. If super effective glasses do actually work for bench Pokemon, then there's maybe something there that could be pretty interesting, but other than that, yeah, not very good. Meditite has a very nice ability, actually, Yoga Guard, that says, as long as this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks, both yours and your opponent's. It's a lovely ability. So what does Medichan do? Medichan is 120 HP, so it can't find a level ball, but it's at least a little bit tanky. Has the ability Open Chakra that says, if you have exactly 4 cards in hand, this Pokemon's attacks cost 3 colors less. Where have we seen that before? Oh yeah, Mightyena. Well, Mightyena said if your opponent has a VMAX in play, this Pokemon's attacks cost 3 colors less. You could also argue there's like some kind of similarities to the new Incandescent Arcana that can attack for free if you have 0 cards in hand. So, or not attack for free, rather. It does like 160 if you have 0 cards in hand. But yeah, either way, very cool ability. What does the attack do? I hope the attack is good. Eager Kick for 3 colors does 80 and then 90 more if your opponent has a VMAX in play. So, yeah, this is cool. You get to 2-shot VMAX, but your opponent has to have a VMAX. Otherwise, you're doing 80, which is, yeah, it's pretty bad. This is obviously supposed to be like a one-off in that kind of Hisuian Arcanine Zoroark box deck. There's really no other way that you could make this work with just on its own, really, because it's just so reliant on what the opponent's playing. It's nice to know that it just gets a free 1-hit kill on Urshifu. So again, if Urshifu ever pops up, I feel like I say this every video now, if Urshifu ever pops up, you have this nice little counter that you can just like splash into your Zoroark deck and get a 1-hit kill versus Urshifu, because why not? It's also, is it good? It's admittedly a nice answer against Kyurem because it is doing at least a bit more damage than the majority of your other attackers, but you can use Mightyena, so maybe it's alright for that. Now let's go back to some actually good cards. Growth Tablet is a Pokemon Tool card that says this Pokemon V this card is attached to can use its V-Star power. So it is essentially a tool card that you attach to a V and you get a new V-Star power to use. And what is this V-Star power? Well, it should look pretty familiar because it's half a Starbirth from Arceus. It says during your turn, you may search your deck for any one card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. You can't use more than one V-Star power in a game. So I could probably sit here all day and list off all the reasons why this is really good, but essentially, think of like all the VMAX decks and evolving V decks that have always wanted a V-Star power, but don't really have the room for Arceus, or they can't afford Arceus, or maybe they literally can't play Arceus if they're playing something like Mew. So now you can just tech in one of these and essentially just once per game search your deck for any card, as long as you can find this relatively easily. And in something like Mew, where you'll see most of your deck, if not all of your deck, every game, this is very easy to find and it will just search for anything else. So yeah, easily a one-of in Mew. Probably a one-of in something like Eternatus because they don't have V-Star power apart from Drapion. You could put this in Gengar, you could put this in Urshifu, Shadow Rider if you're not playing Mewtwo, Ice Cali if you're not playing Palkia. The list goes on and on and on. Like someone even suggested Honchkrow V in a comment section, which I was like, oh wait, that's actually really interesting because now Honchkrow V not only has this V-Star power, but it can also have like 3 capes of toughness or something attached to it. So there is like a ton of options for this. One thing I will say is that when I first read this card, I was super disappointed that it wasn't just for, Vs. I was hoping you could attach this to single price Pokemon. In hindsight, that might have been a bit too broken. But either way, you can like still play this in like stage 2 budget decks and whatnot. You just have to attach it to like one of your Luminion Vs or Crobats, and then you can use it to search your deck for a Candy turn 2 potentially. So there is ways of like making this card actively more consistent for the vast majority of decks in the game. So very cool card, very powerful, probably like one of the better cards from Silver Tempest revealed so far. So very excited to try out Growth Tablet and should be a very good card. For the last card, we have Earth Tablet that says same effect as a V-Star power, but it has the attack Star Gravity. Put damage counters on all your opponent's Pokemon V until they have 100 HP remaining. It's for 3 colors though. It's interesting. It is interesting. I think it has to compete with Growth Tablet, which is a near impossible task in the majority of situations. But in a deck like Urshifu, maybe you would rather, you load your opponents all down to 100 HP and then just Gmax Rapid Flow for a bunch of prize cards. You could even play this in like the Unknown deck. Same for this one, where you could just attach this to an Unknown V-Star and then search your deck for a Glimmer Tangle, I guess. But there is some like fun synergy. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to try and make Unknown Vstar work. I think it's really cool. But either way, I'm not so sure about this tablet. It's okay, to be honest. I don't see why this just really outclasses what Urshifu is already doing. And if I was an Urshifu player, I would rather play something that lets me search my deck for a Rapid Strike Energy, for example, as opposed to playing another move that will put me closer to winning, but it will just is essentially nullified if my opponent ever evolves, switches, heals, essentially. So yeah, not sure I'm a big fan of that one, but the Growth Tablet, definitely a very powerful card. And then Shaman can actually recover some special energy, but we don't know when Shaman will release, probably as a promo card. But yeah, that's it for the special reveals. Let me know what you think of these guys down below. Is there any like massive standouts for you? My personal favorite has got to be Unknown Vstar. I think it's a fun card at the very least. Lugia Archops will be fun to test out, but probably nothing like too competitive. Artwork is amazing though. I mean, just look at that guy. But either way, should be a cool set. And yeah, let me know what you think down below. It's been Empower. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time.